Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Libra, wherever Libra shows up for you. And we're just going to do a 2025 vibe check. I'm not going to go like month by month because honestly, I don't remember that shit when I watch those readings. So I really just kind of want to get, like I said, just an overall, what's the focus going to be? What's, the work that's coming up or things that are being let go of. And of course, would love it if you subscribed to my channel. If you haven't done so already, of course. Either way, thank you so much for being here. So for Libra, I really just kind of want like a couple cards, 3 or 4 cards for Libra. There's one, King of Wands. That's been coming out a lot. Like people are really taking some chances is how that feels. The 3 of Pentacles. Maybe 1 or 2. 5 of Wands. I really do feel like 4. 4 is the number here. Or 6. The Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay, let's figure out like how to make sure all of these are in the frame. Let me just make sure here and then we'll get into it. Okay. I kind of love how this King of Wands, like just because of how where the light is, there's like an emphasis on it, right? I mean, like, I hope that you can see it okay. I can't really like move the light, but what that feels like to me is like keeping the focus on this King of Wands as you are, moving through the year, because it really does seem like you're going to be working through some things, whether, they're internal things, external things too. Certainly with the King of Wands coming out first, like really the energy is available for you to shine. Kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? So it's an authority figure. It's somebody who has mastered something. There's a clarity in the actions that you want to take and that you are going to take. Also, even interestingly enough, like decision making, but we have the card of indecision kind of like right under it. And it is a fire card, right? So, again, fire has to do with the actions that we take, how fast even that we do that, the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion, desires, even just feeling that like within yourself, like feeling motivated to take action towards something. I also see Wands as being information by way of experience, right? Because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, what stays, what goes, right? And like all of those things we have to try in order to see if we even like it. Even, there's this lion back here too, which feels very Leo-esque, like with the strength card. And to me, in this card, like every time I see it, it almost kind of feels like that lion is making sure that you continue to move forward. Because, like, what are you going to do? Turn around and walk towards a lion? Yeah, right. And too, of course, like it does also like have that feeling of being supported. Like really, if you don't feel motivated, if you don't feel determined or feel like you have the strength, really call in the energy of a lion and just see what happens. I mean, even if you are taking small steps, interestingly enough too, like in this King of Wands, there's these white lines, which I'm not sure if they pick up on the camera, but there's a circle here, a larger circle, and then another one. And to me, that feels like the orbit paths of planets. Like, when you see a picture of our solar system, right? There's like a white line or an opaque, kind of line that shows the orbit of that planet around the sun, right? So it could be just transit wise. There could be supportive transits coming up for you, regardless of, where, again, Libra is for you, whether it's your rising, your sun, your moon, your Venus, whatever Libra is for you. And of course, too, the South Node is going to be moving out of Libra in the next couple of weeks. I think it's January 11th. So you might just be getting some relief from that, but even just recognizing how much you have grown, because too, the King of Wands is the entrepreneur of the tarot. Like they need to have that creative freedom, the independence, they may take unique actions towards certain things, but it's like based on like their authentic truth, right? Like, how do you express your creativity? And maybe that's different than from other people. And maybe, you've recognized that, or you really have like honed in on that over the last 18 months specifically. But, and it's like knowing your own power, recognizing your own worth, really having like a sense of clarity of where you want to go. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, which is collaboration with others. It's interesting because after that, like after the Three of Pentacles, then it starts getting interesting, right? Like this isn't necessarily going to be like a year of just like gliding through, right? Like, again, whether it is, having to do a lot of inner work to continue to like show up for yourself, to continue to peel back those layers, to figure those things out. But anyway, so we're talking about the Three of Pentacles, again, collaboration with others, right? I always kind of think of the Three of Pentacles as like a group project, in the sense of it's like everybody has their part and they're all, like doing the work towards the same goal, right? Like versus an actual group project where, like maybe one or two people are mediocre, and then there's one person that's like actually wants to get a good grade. I mean, this could even like be going for some sort of promotion, because I mean, you could oversee a group of people in some capacity. Pentacles does have to do with our money, so it could be work. It could just be, within your community. It could be just, some sort of group that you are involved in. Maybe you are taking more of a leadership type of role within that. There could be some competition around that with the Five of Wands, because it is a card of competition. However, though, I see the Five of Wands more as like conditioning and training, which, I mean, that could very well be competitive, right? I mean, we have all these different people that are trying to climb up here to get to this flame, right? So again, there's this collaboration thing here. All of these people are trying to reach the same goal, which could cause some level of competition. But like, again, so I always think of Mulan with the Five of Wands, and like when she goes to warrior training, and like literally in the beginning, nobody is working together. It's all ego, like people are trying to one up each other, trying to like show how tough they are and whatever, right? Like, but as they continue to work together, as they continue to build a relationship with each other, then they learn how to work together. It's like, using everybody's strengths for the greatest good. So I don't feel like this is like necessarily a negative thing. Like, I think of course, like at first it could be perceived that way just because of the meanings of, you know, the cards, but honestly, I don't really feel like this is a negative thing. This could just be, again, like learning to work within a group. And you could be the person that's like talking sense into people, like, okay, it really is a waste of our time to compete against each other versus learning how to work together. And then also, just interestingly enough, like kind of how I set up these cards here, it's interesting because this little trio here with the King of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords, swords have to do with our mind and our thoughts and our belief systems, truth, honesty, you know, our mindset. It's also our ego. And like I said, the Two of Swords is indecision. So, you know, with these three cards here, you could just be in a period of, because even on this Two of Swords, there's two paths here. And granted, their back is turned from it, but it could just be having a hard time deciding which way to go. Maybe you'll have more than one opportunity. But I also feel like this is going to be like a strengthening of trusting your intuition. Because truly, too, like there is never a wrong decision. Ever. Because, I mean, whichever way you go, there you are, right? And opportunities, decisions, whatever, you know, they just keep showing up regardless. So who's to say if you don't go, you know, left, that at some point through whatever decisions that you make, you end up somehow on the path that would have been on the right-hand side, right? I mean, you make a decision based on the information that you have, even to like the interest that you have with the Three of Pentacles, because all of these people would have an interest in, you know, macrame, for instance. But at some point you might just be having to like work through almost like the scales thing, right? Like with Libra, like you might just be having to work through like which one is a priority, which one is more important, which one has more weight. And again, there is no wrong answer to that. And then with the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Five of Wands, you know, the Nine of Swords has to do with fear, anxiety, doubt, but nines are also individual completion. So again, right, it's just like expect things to come up for you mentally. And that could be, you know, the stories that you have attached to working with other people, and stories attached to everybody working together towards a common goal, or even stories attached to being in a competitive field. Like if there is a job that you want to go for, but you're like, man, you know, I don't necessarily feel qualified, or I already know that there's going to be, you know, a pool of highly qualified people there, right? Like this Nine of Swords is like, you know, I don't have the experience. I don't have the whatever, or I'm scared that I'm going to be turned down for it, or, you know, whatever the case may be, right? Like there's a lot of information and a lot of healing that can come from observing what those thought patterns are and allowing yourself to work through them. Because there's like this leveling up thing that can happen. But if your mindset is like, if your ego is still, you know, like Brene Brown calls them gremlins, right? Like if they are still very loud, you know, like overwhelming, because even like all these crows up here, like that would be overwhelming and overstimulating for me. Just thinking, like literally, if there was like all those crows like flying around, you know, my head, right? Just creating disruption. That's like how, you know, like when we start getting into like fearful, self-sabotage, anxiety, you know, kind of mode, that's when all of this stuff comes out. So it's, you know, training your nervous system, it's training your mind that sure, those thoughts may come up, And sure, those are things that you might have believed at one time, but it's 2025 and YOLO, right? Like, go for it. There's plenty of people in power, as we are, experiencing a lot of lately. And I mean, in the recent couple years past, that there are a lot of people in powerful positions that are mediocre at best, but they had the audacity to go for it, to try to, throw their name in the hat, right? And then even with the Lover's card at the bottom of the deck, that's making the right connections. That's, making relationships, meeting the right people. And then the Six of Pentacles is behind it, which is charity. But like charity in the sense of like somebody offering something because they have an abundance of it. Like that could be knowledge. It could be, a mentor. It could be a loan or some sort of monetary something. But there is this like reciprocal thing to it. It could be just making the right connection by way of, somebody meeting somebody that works at a company, or, making a connection with the HR person and you guys just, hit it off, or, the person that's interviewing you, or, you know what I mean? It's like making those connections, and there's some sort of cyclical reciprocal energy that is exchanged. It's like, whatever is being offered is being received in the same type of energy exchange. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.